Welcome to an exclusive preview into the athletic programs at Olathe's 4 high schools. You'll hear from coaches at North, South, East, and Northwest as they discuss their prospects for the upcoming season. And you'll meet some of their featured players. This is Coach Report. We begin at Olathe East, where consistency shouldn't be an issue. The Hawks returned 25 seniors to this year's squad, and they're led by the same coach who's been here since the school opened 20 years ago. We're here with Coach Jeff Myers, whose team tied for the Sunflower League State Championship last year. Coach, welcome to the show, and thanks for having us here at East.
Well, thanks for being here, Tim, and appreciate the interview.
Last year, you finished 10-2. Can you give us a brief recap of how last season went?
Yeah, we had a great season. We were co-Sunflower League champions. We made it to the state semifinals. We lost to Olathe North in the state semifinals 13-6. We'd beat them earlier in the season, and tough game to end our season, and our only other blemish was against Lawrence High.
As we mentioned, you have a veteran squad returning back, 25 seniors. Can you tell me how that's going to affect your season coming up?
Well, it's always great to have an experienced group come back. Probably the thing that I'll say about this group of seniors is we're bigger, stronger, and probably deeper at line positions than we've ever been at Olathe East. So I'm looking for big things out of my big guys.
So how has that experience translated to the preseason? Are you seeing it during workouts?
Absolutely. Anytime you have that experience coming back, those kids usually know how to lead others to do the right things, and workouts have been going very good. We've started June 1st and have been practicing and conditioning and doing everything you need to do in order to get prepared for another football season, and the kids have done a great job.
Now you continue to be a part of a program called First Downs for Down syndrome. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what your players get out of that?
Yeah, this is the 7th year now that we'll be involved in this program, and one of the things that we try to do at Olathe East is really teach our kids characteristics that are going to help them be successful later in life. And through the First Downs for Down syndrome program, we try to teach them that characteristic of giving back. They're very lucky to be where they are, and it's always good to give back to the community. And our kids have done a fantastic job in the last 6 years that we've been involved in the program. We've been the #1 school in Kansas City metro area in raising funds for First Downs for Down syndrome, and that is in conjunction with the Kansas City Chiefs linemen. So it correlates well with football, and of course, here at our school at Olathe East, we have some kids that are Down syndrome, and we get them involved in any way we can with our football program, and throughout the school year, our kids work with those kids extremely well.
Now, clearly you have a lot of veterans coming back this year. Who should your fans be looking out for? Who should they keep an eye on this year?
Well, I have a 3-year starter at center, Myron Tipton. He also plays defensive end. He's a deep snapper, very valuable to our team. He's a great one, and he's got a chance to continue playing at a major level in college. Then I also have Ethan Goss, who is an offensive tackle that was first team all Sunflower League as a junior. Big kid, 6'4" and 260 pounds, and I look forward to him opening some holes for us on the offensive side. I also have a skill position kid named Junior Williams. Michael Williams is his real name. He goes by Junior. He's a defensive back, a returner, can play receiver, offensive back, very good skill position kid, and also a 3-year starter. And then our top player this year is Matt Baltimore. He's already been offered full ride scholarships at the Division I level, and he plays defensive end, also plays tight end on the offensive side of the ball, and he's got a lot of experience and gets after people really well, and we expect big things out of him.
For a closer look at Matt, join us for this player profile.
Matthew Baltimore, Olathe East defensive end, class of 12. Well, my responsibility is to keep the quarterback contained. They come to my side, they got to be taken out. you got to go up against something before you can get to the prize, which is the quarterback, in my opinion. That's how you win games. Defense wins championships. Defense! We've been with each other for a long time. We've been playing football together for about 8 years. There's a lot of guys that came from California Trail, the junior high where we played, and we always wanted to play the game and love the game, so the bond together as a team. As long as the seniors are able to come together, everyone should come together. Everyone should be coming up to weights, and it's preseason, everyone's working hard and doing their responsibility. I plan to be one of the vocal leaders, on defense definitely, and offense and on the sidelines. I'll do whatever it takes for my team to get a win. Personality of this team, we're gonna be wild. It's gotta be wild! The goal is always to win state, For us, it's win state, win as many games as possible. Together we can do anything, and that's how we'll win all our games. The loss is still in my head. That score, 13-6, never gonna forget it. It's always North. That's on my mind. Beating them, that's my #1 responsibility this year as a senior.
Olathe South is the home of the Falcons. Coming off of a pivotal season, this year's squad expects even bigger success. We're here in what might be the heart of the Olathe South football program, and we're joined by head coach Jeff Gorley in his 4th year. Thanks for having us, Coach.
Thanks, Tim. Glad to be here.
Coach, you had an interesting year last year. Can you tell us a little bit about the 6-game winning streak and ending up in the second round of state?
Well, we had a great year, and we made a transition last year. We've been a pass-oriented offense, spread things out, throw the ball around a little bit, and that didn't really suit my style. And quite honestly, at the high school level, I don't think you can live and die on the passing game. So we transitioned last year into the running game, which I'm very comfortable with, and it took us a little while to adapt to it. And once we got everything kind of down pat and where the kids were playing without having to think a whole lot, we went on a 6-game winning streak, and then lost our last game of the season, but it didn't matter at that point, and we played it like it didn't matter, and got ready for the playoffs. And then jumped in and had a good run in the playoffs, getting beat finally in the second round.
Speaking of that 6-game winning streak, can you tell me a little bit about if that's providing momentum going into this season?
Absolutely. The kids experienced a lot of success during those 6 games. And even the games that we didn't win, we gained valuable experience. We've got a lot of kids coming back this year that played a substantial role last year. And honestly, I think it will. I think it'll springboard into a lot of success this year.
Tell the fans a little bit about what they might expect this year and some of the players they might keep an eye on your squad.
It ought to be a real exciting year. Offensively, we're going to come off and we're going to hit you. And our goal every game is for the opponent to wake up the next morning and go, oh my gosh, what happened to us? Who did we play? Why am I so sore? And if we can accomplish that, win or lose, we're headed in the right direction. We're not going to come at you real hard on defense. We're going to let you come to us, and we're going to try and hold you to minimal gains and certainly not give up the big play. That's the whole philosophy of our defense. This year we've got some really talented kids coming back. We've got a good, solid defensive core coming back with Jared Douglas and Greg Fry and Rem Whitley and Dylan DeVries and Taylor and Zach Sheffield. They're twins. Good, solid group coming back on defense. Offensively, we have a hopefully grown-up quarterback. He played as a sophomore last year, Frankie Sire, and he's planning on, or we're planning on him doing some really nice things this year as a more mature player. Our running back crew is pretty salty this year. We've got a lot of competition at every position. We incorporate 3 running backs. At the fullback position right now, Jordan Ward and Russell White are really battling it out. That's not to say that they're the number ones. There may be somebody else step up and play, but they're right now they're the front runners. At our wingback position, we've got Teddy Colbert and Matt Elliott that are battling it out for a position. And then at our B-back or our halfback spot, we have Fritz Wilbur and Austin Hayes are doing some serious battle. Those guys have all put time in this summer and really worked hard at getting better. Our offensive line, we lost a lot of good ones last year. We had some really good players on the offensive line, but we're bringing back 2 good tight ends with Chris King and Justin Magat, 2 good tackles in Richard Alexander and Ryan Callahan. We've got some young, inexperienced guards. One of them's Braden Smith, who is just a phenomenal young man as an athlete, as a person and an athlete. And then Jared Douglas looks like he might be getting some time at the other guard, so we'll see how that works out. But the anchor of the offensive line is Scott Gorley. He's my son. He was honorable mention All-State last year, and has an offer right now to Air Force Academy, and he has proven his way into being one of the top players in Kansas.
Okay, let's take a look at the anchor of the offensive line, Coach Jeff Gorley's son, Scott.
I'm Scott Gorley, center at Olathe South High School. As a senior this year, coming up and being a center, I want to be your role model, and that's what people look to in a center. A center leads the team. He's a quarterback without being a quarterback. He controls the offensive line. He makes all the line calls. He is the leader among the offense, and that's what I presume to be. So we will have a majority of senior linemen. Our right side of the line will be real solid because it's bringing back a lot of starters. Offensive line is all the work and none of the glory. It's as simple as that, So we stick together and we do what we can to help the running backs look pretty. Go. Running back wise, we got all the tools we need. We got speed, we got power, we got a mixture of both. We have a lot of competition in the backfield. Our quarterback, Frank Sire, will be real good. Our linebackers are going to be real strong this year. Our safeties are going to be real strong. So our defensive exterior will be real strong. So I believe we have all the right tools in all the right places, and I think we got what it takes. Aggressive. I love going after people. Pass blocking is boring. Sit back on your heels, catch people. That's no fun. I like hitting people. That's what I do. Our goal is to make the state. I mean, if we expect anything less, we won't get there. We're not playing for second right now. I got one thing on my mind.
And now to the newest school in the district, Olathe Northwest. In just their 9th year, the Ravens are trying to make their mark in the Sunflower League. And we're joined by head coach Todd Dane. Coach, welcome to the show, and thanks for having us here at Northwest.
You bet. I appreciate you guys coming out and getting inside from the heat.
Coach, even though Olathe Northwest has been open for 9 years now, the varsity program is not that old. Could you explain that for our viewers?
Sure. Olathe Northwest was built and opened in 2003, but we were a young program. In fact, that was the middle of the Acacia cycle, and so the very first year we played a junior varsity schedule, junior varsity team only, and so we just completed our 7th varsity season a year ago, and so 7 years. We've been at it a while now, but we're still young in the scheme of 6A football and the Sunflower League, and we're the new kids on the block still in the Sunflower League. But for the most part, 7 years down the road, some of the newness is wearing off, and we're starting to finally grow into a 6A school and what a 6A school should look like.
To a lot of your players, this is not considered a new school because of their age. However, could you tell us a little bit about what it's like to build a program from the beginning and some of the hurdles as well as some of the great things about having a new school?
Well, that's one of the opportunities that I came here for, was to start a program from the ground up, build a program facilities, build a coaching staff around me, and it's been a great opportunity. I was one of the first people hired in this building, and was able to construct a football coaching staff that's been with me consistently for a lot of years now. The one thing that I would say about starting a program from scratch is that you have to build your own identity, and the football is incredible in the city of Olathe, and that's a great thing, and that's where we want to be. But it's also one of those things that it's tough to build tradition when you start with nothing.
Finishing 3-6 last year is probably part of taking the lumps of being one of the newer programs. But can you tell me a little bit about how last year went and what you're able to take with you from last year as motivation going into this year?
Sure. Last year we really had a good season. We competed very well in the Sunflower League. In 8 out of the 9 games, we were tied or ahead in the third quarter, and we were very competitive all the way through. And we felt like we're closing that gap a little bit. One of the things that affected us last year was we had some injuries. Our starting quarterback broke his collarbone against Olathe East, and he's a very good player and is going to go on and play at the college level. And when you lose a starter like that, it affects your team, especially for us at quarterback. And so we felt good about our performance last year and where we're building, and we're excited about this year.
Speaking of this year, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing to get ready for the preseason and how the guys look.
This summer, we had 74 football players with 100% attendance in the weight room. And I've never had that many football players that had perfect attendance. And so we feel very good about the work ethic and the group of kids that we have coming in, and they've really bought in and worked really hard. And one of the most important things is that the kids got to know that you love them. They got to know that you care about them as people first and as players second, and that's one of the things that we preach as a coaching staff to our players. And we want them to be the best football players that they can be, and we want to foster the best football team that we can create here. But we also know that they're kids.
Can you tell your fans some of the players who they should be keeping an eye out for this year?
Well, we have several players that were impact players a year ago. Our number one player is probably Connor Middleton, returning running back, linebacker for us from a year ago. Connor was a state champion wrestler last winter, and brings a tremendous amount of leadership, speed. He runs on our 4x1 relay, and he's a great competitor. And so he's someone that found the end zone several times last year, and we hope to do the same again with him this year. Joe Manio is our other captain. He's a big physical force for us, and so we're excited about Joe. We also have some other guys coming back up front. Adam Turner, Aaron Turner, both those young men are brothers, and they've been players for us for 3 years now up front on the offense and defensive lines, and so we finally have a little more depth up front, and hopefully that'll help us down the road when we face those other Olathe foes in the heart of the Sunflower League.
For more on Connor Middleton, we bring you our player profile.
My team goal personally is definitely a state championship. I know it's a long shot, but I feel like the intensity steps up each year. What our coaches expect of us step up each year. You can't go far unless you set your goals high. I'd probably consider myself more of a running back just because I feel that there's a lot more aspects that I need to focus on, as being able to view where my options are, knowing my linemen and who I'm going to run behind. Our strengths change around a little bit. This year we're kind of a smaller team, so that means we need to pick up our quickness and be able to get around guys and be able to move guys where we need to go. Being a leader off the field is just as important as being a leader on the field. I believe you need to be at practice, you need to be pumping your guys up, whether it's through leading by example or whether it's talking and just yelling and getting loud and everyone getting pumped up.
Push your teammate! Don't let him be last!
So 20 and back.
You do not cheat, we did them right yesterday. All the way down, all the way up.
I see myself more as a leader by example. Our time in high school is short, and we're never going to get that back, so we need to go 100% all the time. My name is Connor Middleton. I'm a senior at Olathe Northwest, and I'm a running back and middle linebacker.
Welcome to perennial powerhouse Olathe North, winner of 8 state championships since 1996. We're here with Coach Pete Flood, who enters his 6th season at the helm for the Olathe North Eagles. Coach, thanks for having us here at Olathe North.
Thanks for having me.
The Eagles have 12 Sunflower League championships over the last 2 decades. Last year you had another very impressive season. Can you give us a brief recap of how last season went?
Yeah, last year we had a nice run. We finished 11-2, getting defeated in the state championship game. It was looking back on it now, and reflecting over that year, the kids did a great job in regards to overcoming a early season week 3 loss. Continued to focus on weekly improvement, and by the end of the season, once the playoffs started, we had put ourselves in a position to compete every game, and we beat some good teams in the playoff run, and then ran into a very good team at Wichita Heights who had a better day than us that day. But overall, it was a successful year and something those young men can be proud of.
Now, for the season, your players averaged a little over 30 points per game over the entirety of the season. Having made it to the state playoff, are you able to take that momentum into this coming season?
Well, it's a whole new crop of kids. We return a few players from last year's squad, but generally we're coming off, we're going to be replacing a lot of kids, and so expectations are high, but thus far we're just, trying to find those right pieces right now, and that will be an ongoing process throughout the course of the year. And hopefully towards the end of the season, we've solidified and found a group of kids that can play hard and compete every game.
As you said, you have a new crop of kids this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the preseason, how you've been getting the team ready?
Well, they've been very consistent this summer in regards to their attendance coming in, and we show up at 7 and they lift, and we go outside and we work on football-specific activities, and our attendance has been good, and the kids have worked hard.
The Eagles return a quarterback who has quite a bit of experience from last year. Coach, can you tell us about the quarterback and some of the other players that your fans should be looking for this year?
Yeah, Jordan Bruce is a senior quarterback this year, and we had a couple of packages that utilized his skills last year, so he brings some experience with him into that role, understanding the Friday night and the pace of the game. Up front, we got a returner in Tyler Berry, who was our only junior offensive lineman last year. We have 2 new running backs in Orange Mooney and Trayshawn Root. Our receiving core revolves around Tanner Gentry and Trey Geiger, who both played quite a bit last year. So we have some experience there. On the defensive side of the football, we lost quite a bit. We returned Tanner Gentry. We'll once again play defensive end, and in the secondary, we're looking for new faces. And Michael Wirtz, who was thrown into a role last year in the playoffs, responded really well. Had a great end of the season for us, and he comes in with a little bit with experience and confidence that he can play at that level, and he's done a great job this summer.
For a closer look at Michael, here's our player profile.
We expect to go for a state title every single year, every year. We don't necessarily think of it like a lot of pressure. It's just that we're here. I mean, we understand the guys that have come before us. We understand that the teams, that what they've accomplished, and we understand that it takes really hard work and a lot of dedication. Right now, we're not even expecting anything. We're worried about week 1. We're worried about Olathe East Friday night. That's all. That's all we're focused on right now. I'm Mike Wirtz. I'm a senior. I play rover here. It's this mix between strong safety and linebacker. I love the game. I wouldn't want to play anywhere other than North just because of the tradition and all the guys who've been here. I love being around my buddies that I grew up with, playing the game there, making big hits, and just everybody goes crazy, man. I love that.
There you go, get him home!
Being a senior, my responsibility is to teach the younger guys what's going on. Step in the weight room and just gotta make sure you come in with the mindset that you gotta get stronger that day. You're taking it one day at a time with a passion that I'm gonna get better today. I feel like I want to be able to work so hard that nobody can work harder than me. This is how it needs to be. Let's go. This is Olathe North. You gotta get things going.
Thanks for joining us for this season's Coach Report Football Edition. We hope to see you at the games this fall.